States Army presents The Big Picture, an official report produced for the armed forces and the American people. On September 15, 1950, the UN forces take the offensive. An assault fleet appears off Walmy Island at Inchon Harbor, 150 miles behind enemy lines. It's a daring end-run maneuver which takes the sleeping enemy completely by surprise. At 0630 hours, the Marines begin the assault. The naval barrage has cleared the way for them, but this is still a risky operation. Headquarters must gamble on the first try being good. Inchon's violent 30-foot tides leave no time for a second attempt.
We had orders to neutralize resistance and do it fast. Dig them out and cover up the holes. It took us 58 minutes to secure the island.
With the next tide, more Marines move into the streets of Inchon itself. They meet little resistance, and within hours the city is secure. The big gamble has paid off. With the surrender of Inchon's modern harbor, the back door to Seoul is opened wide. Simultaneously in the south, the reinforced 8th Army breaks out of its Pusan stronghold, splitting the encircling Red forces as it thrusts across the Naktong River to begin its drive northward. At Inchon, the 7th Infantry Division swarms ashore to strengthen the UN foothold in the north. Thousands of enemy troops are being trapped in the southwest as the Pusan spearhead races north to join up with Inchon forces.
On the way to Seoul, we took a good many prisoners, too. But they didn't come easy.
United Nations strength is growing in the north. Men and machines, first hundreds, then thousands, flow inland from the sea to join the attack toward Seoul. With each step, however, they meet stiffening resistance as the retreating enemy consolidates his forces. At Pusan, still another nation joins the growing UN command as 1,200 men of a crack Philippine regimental combat team come ashore. And at Kimpo Air Base south of Seoul, men of the 187th Airborne Regiment arrive from Japan to become the first paratroop unit to enter the conflict. This newly recaptured airfield has also become an advanced base for increased air attacks on the enemy's supply and escape routes. As the spearhead from Pusan gathers momentum, columns of transport barrel northward against a disheartened enemy. In many towns, the entire populace turns out to shout its welcome.
It was like France all over again. Couldn't understand what these people were saying either. Some places, nobody was around to say anything. It's only about 20 miles from Inchon to Seoul, paved highway all the way. But it took us a week of hard fighting to make the trip. Finally, though, our amphibious gear, crammed full of rock and American Marines, started massing up at the Han River across from Seoul. It was time to retake the city. The softening up process got underway.
The Han River crossing means a full-scale amphibious operation, since the Han, here near its mouth, is well over a mile across.
The Reds who had thrown back an earlier night attack were gone, pulled out to dig in among the streets of Seoul itself. The battle for Seoul was rough. 10,000 communist troops garrisoned every building and street junction with orders to fight to the death. A great many did.
The shattered city is retaken September 26th. During the battle for Seoul, the trap is closing swiftly about Red forces in the southwest. The day after Seoul falls, troops from the 7th and 1st Cavalry Divisions join up just south of Suwon. 2 days later, in the battered Capitol building, special ceremonies are held as General MacArthur officially returns the city to Syngman Rhee, President of the Republic of Korea. Now begins a tragic homecoming for the thousands who had fled the city only 3 months before.
You'd look at these people, scratching through the ashes of what used to be their homes, wonder where they got the guts to go on. Still, I guess we'd do the same back home if it came to that.
As life begins to take root again in Seoul, the UN advance in the eastern sector goes on. On September 30th, ROK forces reach the 38th parallel. They cross it the following day.
One old guy couldn't keep it straight who was who. Turned out to meet the ROK Army with North Korean flags.